This week's show brought to you by Frank Shoup, Georgetown's big name in cars. Roosters, a fun casual joint. Welcome to the Scott County Cardinals Coaches Show with Coach Jim McKee. I'm your host, Kal Oakes. And Coach, usually we start by looking back at last week, and I bet you've done that more than you care to do at this point, haven't you, over the past 4 or 5 days?
Well, you know, we try to move forward and deal with all situations in the best possible manner. But you know, it's been a little bit of a distraction, yes. Yeah. And Kal, you know, I mean, you called me on Saturday. Now, I'm not going to talk to every media outlet because I'll tell you why. They only want something when they want something. And, you know, our local newspaper is always my #1 go-to people because you guys are there for every game. And, you know, I've always make a point in a big game, and you'll see this year, we have like a post-game something and you're out there, I always try to find my local guy first and try to take his questions. And, you know, I don't have anything to hide about what went on in the game, and I'm more than happy to answer any questions that you would have or share anything that you think the viewers would be interested in.
I mean, it just seems like Lafayette side has been talked about quite a bit in the region and throughout the state, but I don't think your side has gotten played up enough in terms of maybe the safety issues that were involved and that influenced your decision making.
Well, first off, and not to be rude or wrong, and I don't mean this in a bad manner, but you know, I don't care about Lafayette. Coach Shaw doesn't care about my team. He cares about his team. You know, and Lafayette has to do whatever they think they need to do for what's right for Lafayette High School. I don't work for Fayette County Board of Education, and I don't have to abide by the rules from Lafayette. And the reverse of that is true for here. You know, we did everything we thought was right for our kids and our program. And was it FDR? What president said that the two most important things you can do when you make a decision is A, make the right one, B, make the wrong one, but C, make one. And you know, when I talked to Joe when the lightning came, Joe came in the locker room, and with all due respect to Joe, I mean, he let me drive the boat. He respects my position as the head coach. I said, Joe, we're not staying here all night. We absolutely 100% want to finish the game. What do you think a fair number of delays is? So we bantered back and forth, and we said, okay, let's say 3. We'll wait 3. So after the third one, we said, guys, you know, we're done. And they said, no. So we said, okay, we'll wait 4. So what would have been enough, Kal?
Yeah, that's what I'm wondering.
6?
I drove out of there at
8.
I drove out of here at
12:05,
and there was still
there's no way we could have been playing.
Yeah, and this is the thing. I mean, I think we're dealing with some hard, fast rules that are written to govern these things for all sports. But I think football is a different animal. I don't think you can flick that switch at midnight in such a physical, full contact, full-on game.
You know, here's the thing: if it's I've got to do what I think's right for our program, and the #1 person that has the single most amount vested in this program is me, and our coaching staff and our kids. Now, I could have asked you, I could have called you, Kal. What's this guy's name? James, right? We could have got James 3. James, what do you think we need to do here? That's not my personality.
Right.
You know, my opinion was, when we told them, we said, guys, is there any way we can play tonight? We're willing to wait 3 lightning delays. Okay, we're willing to wait 4. Can we play tomorrow here at the stadium? No, the stadium's not available. Can we play tomorrow at Tate's Creek or at Lafayette, for example? No, our stadium's not available. So we went home. And then at, you know, close to midnight, they said, well, Tate's Creek's going to be available after the Madison Southern Tate's Creek makeup. By that point in time, our kids have all gone home. We've had a group of kids head to U of L for game day. And I just said, we're done. And, you know, our option, we could have come out here and played. Remember what I tell you? A week from Wednesday at 8:15. I'm gonna tell you what, if we come out here right now and played a week from Wednesday at 8:15 and a kid got hurt, I'd never forgive myself for that, ever. If your son was playing for me and it was his senior year and the game had already been called and we came back out here on the next Tuesday night and played and he tore his shoulder up and missed the rest of his senior year, I bet I wouldn't be running for president for Kal Oakes as a campaign manager. So that's what I thought was right. That's what I did.
Yeah.
We're moving on to Clark. We're 4-1, and I told Julian and I have been friends for 25 years. And I'd tell him if he was interviewing me or I was interviewing him, it's not my job to run the KHSAA. It's a KHSAA's job. And Julian and I have not agreed on things over the years, but we understand that there's a professional courtesy between the two of us, that friendship and agreeing on something professionally, that doesn't always have to happen. And he made the decision that he thought he needed to make. And I said, Julian, we respect it. We accept it. I made the decision I thought I needed to make. He accepts it. He respects it. I mean, I wrote down 4-1. That's what I'm going to write down.
And at the end of the day, 4-1, 3-2, the result going forward is still the same for you guys. You still got 5
we
games
lost
left.
Cooper Watts, a cracked bone in his lower leg, and he's going to be out a little bit. But we think we'll get him back sooner than later. And other than that, you're right. Knock on wood. Why'd you bring that up, Cal? But knock on wood.
Yeah, but I mean, looking long term, you still got 5 games left.
I like our team.
Still got 5 games left. You still
like
got a
our
good team that's played very well
against extremely tough competition. Elder beat. They beat Cleveland St. Ed Saturday night at the Pit, 15-9.
That's pretty solid.
And Cleveland St. Ed was ranked number 1 in Division I in the state of Ohio. Had already played, was a back-to-back Division I state champion. Had already played on ESPN and won. So it's a pretty good team. And Pulaski County went down and beat up on Rockcastle, who was undefeated. So yeah, we've played some good people. Our people are generally healthy. We're going to hopefully get Cooper back here much sooner than later, and we're ready to roll into the district.
And this is the part of the season that you prepare that schedule.
Dude. That's what you prepare that schedule for. And it's taken our kids a little bit. They got a lot of pride. And people say, well, you won X number of games, this many games, against this many teams, this and that, and we have, and they take a lot of pride in that. But at some point in time, you got to hone in and say, all right, what's done is done. Let's beat Clark County Friday. Take our open day to do nothing but heal and rest and lift. And let's freaking crank it down, man, and get ready to go. We got Henry Clay, Bryan Station, Dunbar, Covenant Catholic into the playoffs.
And that's obviously a pretty good schedule for you guys. You got a couple of games at home, and then
man, our fans are great.
Yeah, I mean the atmosphere the other night, and you and I have talked about it, I thought was as good as the last 2 weeks has been as good as I've ever seen anywhere.
Yeah, it was awesome. Yeah, it was awesome.
The band, the fans.
And that's what I talked to a few of our kids, like our younger kids. I even had a kid tell me this week that he was nervous. Oh, come on now. Anxious is the word. But when you get nervous, you're not preparing hard enough, you're not lifting enough, not watching enough film, not conditioning enough, not going hard enough in practice. I'm anxious before the game starts, But I knew we had a great plan last week against them in the first half, especially offensively. I don't really know what the defense does. Monty does that. You have to interview him. But, I knew we had a good plan offensively, and I knew we could cut them open on some deep passes if we could execute. So was I anxious? Yeah, a little bit. Was I nervous? No. And we better get over that, and every kid on our team better get over that. We're not going to take the field and be nervous against anybody.
Did some nice things offensively in that half.
Thought we looked way better.
Converted some 3rd and long situations. Having Glenn back.
3 of them.
Having Glenn back obviously makes a big difference.
Converted 3 3rd and longs. It's been a long time since we've done that. 2 sprint out passes and a check down curl. And that was good, and a good pickup by you because, that's the old adage, what are we going to do on 3rd and 10? And the offense isn't built for 3rd and 10. So my first answer always is we're not going to get in 3rd and 10. We could all possibly keep from it, but we did.
But Plan B worked out pretty well.
Plan B worked out great, yep.
Yeah. And your defense comes up with basically neither defense was doing a lot of stopping, but you guys came up with a stop in the end zone that kind of turned the tide, I thought, at that point in the game.
Yeah, I did. And when we gave up the long pass to Marvin there on their sideline with 2 minutes to go in the half, he's in great coverage. He's step for step with the guy. And you got to give, their quarterback and receiver credit. They're both seniors. They start, to me, when I look at it from just an experience standpoint, we were starting 10 new kids on the defensive side of the ball versus last year, and they were starting 8 of the same kids on the offensive side of the ball. So, I think our kids have really, really grown to be able to go in there and compete like that.
And what should we look for with Clark? That's a team.
Well, we've never lost to them, since I've been here and been the head coach here. And, it's the last year that we're going to play them. We were unable to renew the contract for the next scheduling cycle. And you got to call a fact, don't you? You look at your ratings for this show. Are they any good? Are we getting any views?
We'd have to ask the proper authorities, but I think we're gaining ground.
But if we're not getting any views, seriously, I mean, if we're not getting any views, then we need to reevaluate, don't we? And we need to find a different way to promote it, or ask different questions, or wear different hats. I'm supporting lacrosse today, all right? But
and you're saying the same thing with the schedule is what you're getting at.
yeah, you got to reevaluate.
If you're getting the crap kicked out of you by a team, maybe you don't want to play.
And I understand that. I totally get that. You know, I mean, I was in a part where we were building a program here, and I didn't want to play somebody that I thought would beat us. Now, the reverse of that is, or the counter argument for this Friday night is, you know, it's really important that we take care of business. The last thing we need to do is go out there and humdrum around and, you know, go through the motions, get a guy hurt. You know, we need to go out there and do what we're expected to do, which is jump on them fast, furious, all gas, no brakes, put a running clock, and be done.
And you guys have got to be pretty hungry after the past 2 weeks. Win, lose, or draw last Friday night. I mean, you got to be wanting to get back out in the field.
Always. And I mean, you know, yeah, especially yes, we want to get out there and we want to play, and the kids want to enjoy playing.
Big Friday night, 7:30, Toyota Stadium against George Rogers Clark.
Let me get one more shout out.
Get one more shout out.
Freshman team has not been scored on yet this year. They're doing awesome.
What's the record now?
They're 4-0. I think they've won their games 178-0. They were able to beat Clark County last night 42-0, and so they're doing awesome. JV lost to Elder Saturday morning 28-13, but you know, went up there and played hard and hopefully grew from the experience. And when we play the next Elder type team, we'll finally beat one of those teams at the JV level, and of course the varsity level as well. And also this Thursday night for viewers is the Scott Middle GMS game here. So it's supposed to be beautiful, 87 degrees Thursday. If there's nothing going on, come up here and watch the future.
The present is pretty fun to watch, but as Coach said, the future is bright. Get on out there and support the team. We spoke with Josh Davis and Marvin Davis about last week's game and what they're looking forward to with Clark. Let's hear what they had to say.
Scott County was pleased with its performance on both offense and defense in the first half against Lafayette.
We had a nice tempo in last week's game. You know, coming out in the first half, we hit a lot of play action, so a few trick plays that we drew up in practice that week. So, and we executed really well, and just really wish we would have gotten into the second half, see what else we could have done.
Oh, it was exciting. The adrenaline rush just kicking in, and it was a good game for the first half.
We got to be perfect in the passing game in the wing tee, so you don't get very many opportunities to hit those trick plays on them and hit the play action. So we got to execute that to perfection.
And they had a good offense, good moving offense. So our key was to stop the ball.
The players say they were disappointed to not finish the game, but know that they may get another chance to face Lafayette.
I'm just sitting there with my headphones. Everybody else is partying in the other room. I'm just sitting there with my headphones trying to get focused on the game, because the whole time I was sitting there, I was like, all right, we got a whole second half to play, get my mind right. So, and they just called it. And
then to find out that we lost, I really wanted to finish that game.
It's a non-district game, so we'll see them in the playoffs again, but all I know is we're up 25-20 on the scoreboard, so I'm not worried about it.
It's hard, but we got to keep pushing forward, keep moving. Next game at a time. Hopefully we see them in the playoffs.
A tough schedule in August and September has given the Cardinals the confidence they need to meet their own high expectations.
I think confidence is our main thing. I mean, guys went out there, a few guys had never started on varsity before, so getting their nerves broken down and getting those first few games under their belt was a really big thing. And then the guys who have been on varsity before that, just really picking them up and showing them the steps. And once we started getting that clicking, we're just rolling and rolling and rolling.
Scott County is known to win, you know. We trying to follow back up, trying to get back to that state, like Bowling Green.